everyone, I just wanted to do a really quick hamster diet video. This is actually what I feed my Robo Dwarf Hamster, Noodle. So I couldn't find the bag for what takes up the main part of his diet, but I will insert a picture. What I feed him in is the Burgess Dwarf Hamster mix, which is the same as this mix, but this is the one that's actually designed for a Syrian hamster. I got this for Mango because Mango was actually a Syrian hamster, and then obviously when I got the Chinese hamsters that sadly passed away, I bought the Dwarf Hamster mix, which looks like this one. You can see a close up there. And this is actually recommended for the dwarf hamsters because it has smaller pieces. I find when you give them the regular hamster mix, they have difficulties eating all the larger biscuity pieces and things like that. So it's just nicer to give them things that's easier for them to eat. So this is the dwarf hamster mix, and as I said, I couldn't find the bag, even though I have another full bag that came with Noodle, who was, as you know, abandoned on the doorstep. So this box is the dwarf hamster mix. This is the Syrian hamster mix. I mix these two together because I'm obviously not going to waste this, and he can eat it, it's just that he would prefer all the smaller pieces. I'll put a list of what's included in this in the description box. As you can see, there's lots of smaller pieces of millet, and there are pellets and things like that in there. So what I do is every time this runs out, this is just a smaller container that I use, just an old cheese snack selection container, nothing fancy, just needs to be, you know, clean, dry, and it doesn't need to be completely airtight, but in a cool, dry place. And what I do is I mix some of the dwarf hamster mix with the Syrian hamster mix. Obviously when the Syrian hamster mix is done, I won't be buying any more of that because it's basically what's in there with a few different things. And I also add in a few mealworms because as everyone knows, the dwarf variety of hamsters require a lot more energy to keep warm and keep active. So although some people don't like giving these to their animals because they're high in fat, they are a very good treat for a dwarf hamster. And obviously not this many a day, but like a couple to a few of these a day. So I mix those in there. I also add in a few pieces of fruit and nut. As you can see, these are peanuts with skins, and raisins and sultanas. That's basically his treat part of the meal. And then I also add in some of these science selective hamster food. This is a complete hamster food, which is basically a pellet. You can see the description on there. Obviously the has the whole grain goodness, all this kind of stuff, and again, I can tell you anything you would like to know about these. Because these are in pellet form, although you could give them to your hamster all the time if your hamster enjoys them, that's completely up to you. But a hamster does really enjoy a varied diet, so I find that adding a couple of these in, it means you know that they're getting all the goodness that's included in this, as I really do recommend Supreme as a good brand for your hamsters. But they do get bored and they'll pick out their favourite bits, so they pick out the sweet bits. They're like guinea pigs, they have a sweet tooth as well. So I add these in, I put like in 2 a week, so 2-3 a week. He's a really small hamster, he's only a Robo, and they look like this. It's entirely up to you if you wanted to feed this to your hamster. It's a completely nutritious and balanced diet. It's just that they could get bored of it. So it's nice to add variety into a hamster's diet, because as you can imagine, if they're living out in the wild, they don't have a food bowl with, you know, the nutrition that they need. They go hunting for the things that they need. So it's nice to give them that. And the last couple of things I have are basically treats. These are biscuit bones. I give him these as sort of a boredom breaker, really. It's a tiny little bone biscuit, but this lasts him about 2 weeks because obviously he's so small. And that also allows him to focus. There we go. It also allows him to wear down his teeth as well as have a little bit of fun as he moves it around his cage as well. And the last thing that I also give him are all sorts. These are the ones that are high in protein and they don't have any added sugar or salts and things like that. I give him these because the extra protein is good for his diet. It's what hamsters need, and it's also lacking in most foods. Fortunately, the dwarf hamster food doesn't lack it. It's also got chicken protein and it has some mealworms in it. So you don't need to worry about that if you buy the dwarf hamster usually. And then finally, water. Water, very important. They don't drink a lot, but they do need water. As you can see, there aren't many treats here because I think he gets everything he needs from his food, and a treat is exactly that.